Hello there, guys, and welcome back to 100% Chelsea. For the hangover review of the West Ham versus Chelsea game. We lost the game 2-1, and today who we've got on is Sammy, who was actually at the game, mostly telling us about what exactly happened between the two sets of fans. I'm not sure whether, because we started the stream like 10 minutes ago, and then for some reason we weren't live. So I don't really know what's going on here. Please let me know if we are live now, because it's very confusing. Let me see if it works now. Looks like it's working now. It's working now, so perfect. So Sammy, how are you? And tell us about what happened yesterday.
Mate, I'm good, thanks. Yesterday was a little bit scary because I just wanted to watch the game and just do some fan cams like we do every match. But the thing is, I just kept getting coins thrown at us. A lot of West Ham fans came past the cameraman and just like started hitting the camera. It's just like unnecessary things, to be honest. Just didn't need to happen. Just why give yourself a bad name? In the stadium, okay, Chelsea fans were not 100% innocent. There was a few Chelsea fans climbing to the West Ham fans, so I can't say we're 100% innocent. But a lot of West Ham fans, they tried to come to our turnstiles a lot. And at the end of the game, I saw a lot of West Ham fans trying to get to the Chelsea turnstiles. They were literally waiting for the 90-minute whistle just to go and fight, not to celebrate, to fight. And I'm a little bit disappointed in West Ham fans for that.
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't sound great. The stuff I heard about someone I knew who was there with her son, her little kid, and like, you know, I mean, fair enough. Maybe it's not the smartest idea to attend a game like that, which is high security, with a little kid. But then again, if it's high security, the security should be good enough. So what do you feel like about the security? Did you feel like there was more than a usual game set at Stamford Bridge or whatever? Or was it like just terrible organization? Or what exactly was the problem? Or why was it so easy to start shit like that?
Okay, there was so much police. I salute who organised them, because the minute I got out of Stratford station, I had hundreds of police around me already. So for safety-wise around the station, they done a very good job. It's when it comes to stewards and the stadium, that's when things got downhill. So from the station to the stadium, everything was divided, and I don't think anything could really happen there. So well done if you guys are watching, the stewards and the police. You've done a really good job separating us there. But when it comes to the actual stadium, we're just too close, and so many things were getting thrown at each other. And then they done a lot of last minute calls, because I was walking to the West Ham turnstiles because I wanted to interview West Ham TV, and then also these police just came out of nowhere and said, "No, mate, there's no way you can come to this side. You have to go all the way around." And it took me 12 minutes to go all the way to the West Ham side, even though it's like a 2-minute walk. So there was a lot of change of plans last minute, because I think they realised their structure failed. There were so many objects getting thrown. It's because we were too close. It doesn't have to take a rival match to expect things to be thrown. It happens almost every match. And there always will be drunk people going to fight. There's always going to be people willing to fight. So I'm a little bit disappointed with the stewards at the stadium.
All right, so separating the fans in the ground, was that just stewards, or was there police as well, sort of in between the sets of fans? Because what I always feel like is the stewards can't really do much. They don't carry weapons. They don't have, you know, any training in how to properly defend themselves, let alone, you know, defend others. So do you think that is a problem? Do you think in a game like that there should be police sort of separating the two sets of fans and not just stewards?
Yes, I used to be a steward at Crystal Palace last year. There's actually not much power they have, and obviously they have to think about their own safety. So I do understand about them, but I think the police should back them more, because yesterday there was stewards blocking the West Ham and Chelsea fans, but there was no police. But the minute something happened, that's when the police were on standby and they came immediately. But them few seconds, something can happen. So I think police should be there from the start, and that's why things got out of hand. And it's obvious people are going to throw objects. So I think we should have been separated further. And instead of taking away Chelsea seats, I think West Ham seats should have been taken away. Why did we get, I think, 700 seats taken away from us? So yeah, that's what I've got to say.
Yeah, no, it does sound a bit weird. And like, was there any like provocation going on, or like why did it all start during the game? Right, the coin throwing may be one thing, but like ripping out the seats of your own ground and like throwing them at the away fans, like that goes a bit far, and that goes a bit further than it usually goes during games, doesn't it?
It's just sad, to be honest. Ruining your own stadium, ruining your own name. I know loads of West Ham fans, they're really nice people, but when there's people fighting like that, everyone judges West Ham fans as bad. So it just lets the whole brand of West Ham down. Okay, there is fights every game. There is, I think, especially Chelsea, we get pennies thrown at us all the time because we're classed as rent boys. But yesterday was just a joke. There were so many people doing it. I've never seen so many coins thrown past me. Even outside the stadium, just filming with the fan cams, people were throwing stuff, hitting the cameras. I do not know why. I do believe if you keep out of trouble, you don't get in trouble. Yes, that did work for me a little bit, but there was people did try and start with me, which was kind of upsetting. In the grounds, okay, there was Chelsea fans winding the West Ham fans up because there was two people that did run to them, but the security managed to make him not manage to get into the West Ham bit, but he still attempted, which obviously wound them up. But everything else was just banter. Like Chelsea fans are going to sing to wind them up. West Ham fans are going to wind us up. So singing wides, that was all fine. But throwing stuff, come on, guys. It's just not needed. There's no excuse. Okay, we're the ones though who lost, so we're supposed to be the more upset ones. We didn't throw anything stupid like that at the chairs. Even Stamford Bridge or away, we're not known for breaking stadium items. So I'm a little bit upset from West Ham for that. But before the game, it was kind of live as well. There was a lot of drunk people wanting to fight, but that's every game. So I'll say the main problem was the end of the match at the stadium and outside the stadium where the coaches were parked, because there was loads of West Ham fans just wanting to fight.
All right. So do you think that there should be some sort of punishments for West Ham and possibly also Chelsea, like say games without a crowd or whatever? Because like, I don't know. I mean, I personally doubt that, you know, punishments like that will probably change anything, because it will probably annoy those kind of fans even more and probably start things like that even more. But what can you really do about it? Is there even a way to change it? I mean, obviously with CCTV, they can possibly find out who, you know, started all the stuff and who threw things, maybe give them, you know, stadium bans, I guess. But you know, they probably won't be able to find all of them. So is there any sort of way to stop things like that from happening, or do you think that's just probably something we're going to have to deal with?
Well, to me, I think their main priority in the stadium is just not standing up. They're so strict on fans standing up. I think they care about that more than safety. So like you said, they can look at every single thing that happened and see who done it. But the only thing is there's a lot of general sale tickets for them. So like you said, they're not going to find all the people that done offences, which is kind of a problem. So the only thing I can say, they need to toughen the rules. They need to literally say, if you do this, that's it. You're not coming to a stadium ever again. They need to be a little bit more stricter. They need to know who's coming into the stadium. Even though I love the thought of general sale to give opportunities to everyone, they need to know who's coming into the stadium. Not even just for fighting wise, terrorism wise. There's so many reasons why security should be higher in a Premier League, well, English League match.
Yeah, I agree. So I think we've pretty much covered all of that now. So about the game generally, obviously maybe it looked a little bit different from inside the ground. What it looked like on TV for me was, it was just, you know, especially in the first half, we were a little bit slow. I mean, obviously we made 7 changes to the team, so you know, there was always going to be, it was always going to be not as good as it was against Man United. But the two that stood out for me, who were just really not good, like stood out in a bad way, were definitely Oscar and Willian. Like Willian misplaced so many stupid passes in the first half, and then Oscar, you know, he had a few times where he could have had a shot on goal, but tried to cut in or try to lay it off again, and just overcomplicating pretty much everything. And then there was obviously the huge chance that Batshuayi had in the end of the first half. And then, you know, the defending for the first goal. I mean, what is that? I wouldn't personally simply blame John Terry, because a lot of people have been doing that, but generally the whole defense, because you can't concede from a cross that's just sort of in the middle of nowhere kind of thing and let Kouyaté. I mean, fair enough, it was a really, really good header, but you simply can't give him that much space so he can even get off a header that good, because it was pretty much unsavable for Begovic at that time. So what are your thoughts on the game overall?
Just sloppy. I feel sorry for Conte the most, because even though we did play a little bit poor, we missed chances. If we scored them chances, it would have been a completely different approach to the game, and we could have seen it as a positive game. So unfortunately, Conte is the one that gets looked at because we lost. But I think it was individual mistakes that done it, because there were so many brilliant things. Kante was amazing in the first half. Aina was good in the first half. So it's just an upsetting game for the whole team. I do agree with you, John Terry. Yeah, he was a bit slow for West Ham's attack, but anyway, it's a team. You have to work together, so you have to blame the whole defense, which is, I certainly agree with that. But with attack, that's why he should have scored. And plus, because he's not starting every game, he needs to show our manager why he's at Chelsea and why he should play for us. If he's not scoring, Conte's not going to sub him on or anything. So it's a letdown for the players individually. Yeah,
no, I agree with all of that. Yeah, as you said, Kante was really good, especially in the first half. I felt like he was by far our best attacker in the first half. And even though it's good for him kind of thing, it shouldn't be the case. Our centre mid should not be our best attacking player, and he was, even though he maybe should have scored as well, or at least had a shot once where he tried to pass it off again, or just, wait for too long. But, that's not his responsibility to do in the team. Even though something I do have to say is I think Chalobah and Kante together, they were both way too attacking, especially in the second half. Like there was, like against Arsenal, similarly, there was such a huge gap between the defenders and the midfield, and that's why we couldn't stop their attack sort of in the middle and sort of break it up then and start our own attack straight away. We sort of pretty much had to run all the ball of them, maybe concede a free kick or corner or whatever, or start with a goal kick. But obviously that's why it took us way longer to create our own chances in the second half. But saying that, we had plenty of chances in the second half. Like if you look at, Hazard hit the post, Diego when he chipped, it wasn't goal. Randolph, to be honest, he should have put that away, even though it was close. Maybe we could have had a penalty just before the end of the game, but whether that would have been enough to, still make it 2-2 and go into extra time, I don't know. But even though we weren't good, we still had plenty of chances to actually turn the game around, which is like, I mean, it sounds a bit Brendan Rodgers-like, but at least they sort of showed the spirit. I mean, fair enough, that was mainly once we brought Hazard, Diego, and Pedro on, who are obviously the three, that starred the most against Man United kind of thing. Well, not Diego because he didn't score, but still he was good. But for me, it just shows that we have depth in our team, but not quality depth. Because yes, Chalobah is good. He didn't put many feet wrong kind of thing. Aina was all right. He's maybe not. He's right-footed, so it's difficult for him to play left wing back. But I just think, we definitely need another striker. We need cover for our wing backs, because Moses wasn't even in the squad. And I think if he was, I'm not sure if he's injured, I doubt that. But if he was in the squad, I think we would have brought him on, because that would have given us a lot more going forward. And as you said, with John Terry, yes, it is a team. But I think that's exactly the problem, because our defenders were sort of looking out for John Terry, because they had it in the back of their minds of, right, he might be too slow, I need to cover for him, and couldn't be properly looking at themselves for the whole game. And I think that was what was so good against Man United and Leicester, that our defence, even with Azpilicueta at centre back, which is just not his general position, we just looked a lot more solid. And I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence if I think John Terry kind of lost his starting place for kind of good now, until there's like injuries or something.
See, the only problem with three at the back, it's really bad when you're losing. When we're winning straight away, they dominate the position. They have control of the opponent. But when you're losing, you just want to go up and score. Like you're saying, there's so much gaps because of Kante and Chalobah went up. But that's because we're losing. And that's the only problem with three at the back, because there's a big gap between midfield and our defence. And obviously we want to go up. So it's a risk. We have to go up, or we have to go up and leave a gap, or just carry on losing and not attacking. That's the only problem with this formation.
But do you think that problem was because it wasn't Matic next to Kante? It would have sat back because what it looked like against United and Leicester, one of the two always stayed behind. It was, they both did attack. Kante scored, and Matic is in assists in the league right now, I think, level with De Bruyne. So definitely both going forward. But I felt like one of them was always staying back, whether we were trying to score or not. I mean, obviously we haven't been trailing so far with that formation. So maybe it is the formation, but I feel like maybe if we had Matic next to Kante or Matic next to Chalobah, I think maybe one of them would have stayed back a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a very difficult formation. So to play this formation, I think you have to have top quality players. Like you said, there were 7 changes. So I do believe if we had an ordinary squad, it would have been a completely different result. These 7 changes, they probably never played that formation in their life. So I do understand how they can struggle. But even I just said it wouldn't have happened with a different team. I'm still agree with that team selection. I think those players had to play. Our players that play regularly, they needed that rest. So I don't want to be harsh on Conte's selection because I do understand why he played them. What about you?
No, I agree. No, I agree, definitely. I would have played a very similar team anyway. The only thing I wasn't sure about was starting Oscar on the wing because that's just not his position. He's not quick enough. He's not direct enough. I feel like, if we're not playing in number 10, he can play in centre mid, but only if there's 3 centre mids. I feel like if there's only 2, like someone next to him, like it was once Hazard came on for Chalobah, that was just, I don't know, he's not too bad there, but with only Kante next to him and no Matic, there's just not enough cover, I feel like. So at the moment, I don't know. And then we are saying like Fabregas doesn't fit into the system, but I feel like Fabregas would at least try more to defend than Oscar did yesterday. But yeah, I know you've got to head off. So that's pretty much all we've got to talk about the game. Obviously I did a review after the game yesterday, so you can check that out. That is in the description below. So just the last thing, do you think it will knock our confidence? Because I don't think it will. The players that came on, they know on a different day, we probably would have turned the game around. And the players that didn't play, what they've got in their head is the United game. And you can't have more confidence than from that game.
Okay, it's always nice to always look at the positive sides. The positives I can take from that loss, now we can focus more on the league and FA Cup. Also, because we've lost against 2 London teams now, it's in their heads. They're going to feel it. So they're going to be like, okay, guys, we're going to make sure we win our next derby. So I think it's like a wake-up call, should I say? Because look what happened against Arsenal. We lost against Arsenal. That's it. Conte had enough. He changed the formation, changed the team, and now we're completely different in the Premier League. So I'm hoping from this, Conte sees the individual mistakes of the team he chose. So now he knows who's good or not for other games. Like Oscar, it was absolutely poor yesterday. So now I'm hoping Conte knows not to use Oscar on the wing for future games. So even though we lost, it's upsetting as a Chelsea fan, I do take it as a positive to learn from it. And it's good for the Premier League. And hopefully now we can aim for the FA Cup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, obviously, it's always a nice trophy to win. We've got good memories with it. The last time we won the league, we won that cup as well. So it's always good. But as you said, the only thing we can do now is take the positives of it, because there's no point in moaning about losing, because what's done is done. So yeah, that's pretty much all of it that we've got today. Like the video once it's a video, like the stream now if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already. All our social media links are down in the description. Thank you for Sammy for coming on, letting us know your insights from what happened there. Again, obviously a disgrace. Cheers, mate. It's obviously a disgrace what happened. Whether anything will change, I don't know, but I'm glad you got out all right. And check out his fan cams as well. He put them up yesterday. They were really good. So yeah. Sammy, do you want to say something?
Sorry about the wind. I'm outside. I couldn't get a quiet spot inside in my uni, so I apologize for that. Lawrence, I love your reviews. They're so quick. In the middle of my fan cams, I got a message from the notifications. Lawrence has done his review, and I was like, bloody hell, the whistle just went. He's already done one. You're so consistent. So I'm really proud of your work. And I hope you guys enjoy his videos as well.
All right. Cheers, mate. Cheers for that. I do appreciate that. And yeah, that's it from us, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.